Another great propaganda campaign from World War II, and I believe also in World War One, was the loose lips sink ships or might sink ships. The idea was is that you have to be careful about what you say because there were spies all over the world working for the Axis powers, and they might, you know, find out that you were leaving on a ship. You're telling your girlfriend or your boyfriend, "Oh, I'm going to leave on a ship, tomorrow at noon, and we're going to, the Canary Islands." And they would, the Axis powers would find out about that, send a plane or a um, submarine and sink the ship. And the idea was that you have to be very, very careful about the information that you said because you don't know what's going to be overheard or who might be a spy, and people could die. So loose lips sink ships was kind of a classic uh, campaign. This is a little bit less common one, but I like this because it's very Pacific Northwest. This probably was up in a lot of the lumber mills and logging camps all around the Pacific Northwest during World War II. Keep the lumber coming. So they're building a bridge and they need more wood, and the wood's going to come from places like the Pacific Northwest. So people at home on the home front were being motivated to support the war effort by things like doing logging and doing their jobs. Seattle and Portland were really big industrial centers, largely because of World War II. The way World War II changed Portland and Seattle is really significant. Portland and Seattle are still, in many ways, shaped by their history in World War II. Again, give them. They've got the guts. Give them more firepower. Love that one. And then there's this one that I just thought I always loved this one, but it's also just perfect for the COVID situation. It's an old American custom: keep clean, take a bath every day you can. And these guys rigged up a shower at 48 hours after making a beachhead. So it's kind of a story of the Marines landing on an island in the Pacific. They set up a shower in their brand new camp, and they get clean because it's good. You want to keep clean. If you don't keep clean, there's all kinds of horrible things you can get, diseases, and let's keep our immune system clean, eh? So maybe a good example of something that's topical that you could update, washing hands and whatnot, right? Some other great propaganda messages from the World War II, World War I era. Defend American freedom. It's everybody's job. So it's got Uncle Sam stripping out of his Uncle Sam suit and putting on some work clothes, work hat, going in, doing some welding and riveting and getting work done. God love it. But he's an older gentleman, perhaps past the usual working age. But during World War II, a lot of people went back into the workforce because the labor demands were so high. So that's one. And then these, of course I can. I love this one, mainly because it's a pun, and I love puns. But one of the ways that we could support the war effort in World War I and World War II is we canned a lot of our own food. And it prevented a lot of the food from going bad, and that led to less food waste. And because we were having less food waste, and we were growing our own vegetables and fruits, and then preserving them, we were putting less of a demand on our food production system, which helped us support the war effort with expanded food for soldiers and sailors and airmen and other military personnel, and also our allied civilians. And then there's a great example of how they enlisted students to be more involved in the war effort. A lot of students, they would get paper. Paper was a thing that we needed during World War II, and also metal. So a lot of the old metal toys and a lot of paper were put together, like gathered by students, and then sent off to the war effort. In fact, that's one reason that it's hard to find a lot of metal toys and things from before World War II, is because a lot of